Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is about an hour long. It's a practice that focuses on building the mind and body connection while working on staying in the present moment. My name is Kaylee from Yoga Has My Back. Enjoy. Begin in a gentle, easy seat, crossing one leg in front of the other, whichever leg feels good. Maybe resting your palms on the thighs, leaning back ever so slightly so that it feels like you're straightening and elongating through the spine. And take a big inhale as you create space through the chest and the belly. And exhale, releasing everything and letting it all go to start. Drawing yourself into this present moment. And maybe taking a moment as well to think about what drew you to the mat today. Maybe you don't know, and that's okay too. Noticing the sounds, the temperature, the air around you. As you start to slowly dial into your breath, taking long, full inhales to feel the belly expand with the breath. And as you exhale, feeling everything get small, releasing all of the air out of the body to make way for a deep, fresh new breath. Maybe as we are preparing for our practice today, slowly close down the eyes, gently allowing your eyelids to rest. As we begin to focus on our breath, it starts to cultivate a mind and body connection. It is going to help to keep us in the present moment. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, creating that space in a long neck. The crown of the head reaches tall towards the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are. On your next inhale, opening the eyes, having a soft gaze, and bring your hands to heart center, palms to touch. Reach the arms up, overhead, stretching wide, and back bend slightly. Chin draws up towards the sky, heart opens. Separating the hands, creating cactus arms, drawing the shoulder blades together behind the back, elbows come down. Linking the movement with breath, we'll inhale, bring the hands back to touch above the head, and exhale down to our heart center. Again, on your next Inhale, start to slide the hands up overhead. Back bending, opening the heart to the sky. Exhaling, shoulder blades draw together, elbows down, cactus arms. Really seeing if you can almost holding a pencil back behind your back with your shoulder blades. Inhaling, arms up. Back bend and exhale. Palms to the heart. Noticing any sensations that might be happening in the body. Acknowledging any thoughts and then letting them go. Inhaling one more time, arms up overhead. Opening the heart, back bend slightly. Exhale, hands come to cactus or goddess pose. So nice to feel the sun again on my face. Inhaling, hands up, palms to touch if you can. And exhale, hands to our heart. Beautiful. Just take a moment here to adjust your seat. Maybe crossing a different leg over the front of your knee once again. Finding a comfortable pose. Rolling the shoulders forwards. And then rolling the shoulders back. Noticing if you're feeling any tightness or tension in the body today. A reminder to practice compassion for yourself as we move through these poses. So sometimes, some days you may be more flexible than others, and that's okay. It's very important, I guess, in the practice of yoga to acknowledge where you're at and to know that you always have the opportunity to come into a resting pose if that feels better for you. So let's take our left hand and plant it onto the mat. Inhale the right arm for a side bend, up overhead, bending through the left elbow. Turning the gaze up towards the sky under the armpit. Bending and straightening the elbow, playing with your side opener. Maybe turning the gaze down towards your palm to the ground. Inhaling, right arm comes down to the mat. Release and then sweep the left arm up. Same thing on the other side. Bending and straightening your right arm. Gaze looks up towards the sky or ceiling. The gaze draws down towards the floor. Coming into a seated twist, we'll cross left hand over right knee. Plant the left arm behind you, twisting tall. Inhale, find length in your seat. Exhaling, find a twist deeper if you can. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, twist down right hand to left knee. Seeing if you can look back behind you over the shoulder or striving to get there in time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Coming back to center. Uncrossing the legs, and then bring the soles of the feet to touch for Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose. taking hold of the ankles if you can, or resting the hands on the knees. Start to gently flutter the knees up and down for butterfly. Imagine a wave of light or energy flowing over you from the top of your head and down the spine, letting everything go out the tailbone or the sits bones, melting into the ground. Come to stillness, feeling the weight of your palms opening up through the hips and the groin area, melting the shoulder blades down the back. Two more deep breaths here. Good, now reaching for the feet, take hold of your palms. You can round through the spine, bow the head, opening up through the back of the neck, and start to give yourself a gentle foot massage. Pressing the thumbs into the soles of the feet, into the pads of the toes. Really trying to visualize and express the gratitude here for your feet that take you through the steps of the day. They've been with you this whole time, one step in front of the next. Surviving moments, getting through tough times and enjoying the hard times, or the good times, I should say. Inhaling, slowly start to lift the gaze forward. Noticing if you start to feel any opening through maybe the back of the hips or the glutes and the sits bones. Exhale and rounding the spine, draw your forehead towards the heels. Maybe rocking your neck back and forth. Inhale and sit back tall. We'll take our feet into a 90-90 pose now. So with our left leg crossing in front of the body, take the right foot behind you so that your legs are each making a 90, give or take, degree angle. Great for opening up our hips, and just an alternate way to find a comfortable seat. Inhaling the arms up overhead. We'll exhale and twist towards the left. Right arm comes down. See if maybe you find a little bit more length in here. Just noticing what different changes are happening within the body. Maybe this feels really good. And if it doesn't, just back off slightly until you find a place of comfort in this pose. Always modifying, always changing. Slowly drawing the hands back through center. Roll the shoulders, readjust the spine. And slowly start to just walk your hands out in front of you. Feeling this through the left hip. For me, at least, I really feel it in my hips. Engaging through the fingers. Shining your elbows towards the sky, shoulder blades draw together behind you. Exhale, let it go and round. Walk the hands back. And we'll switch to the other side, taking the right leg out in front, coming through center, and then crossing your right thigh in front, or right shin, sorry, in front of the body. Left thigh comes out to the side and the heel drives down. Settling into our 90-90 on the opposite side. Inhale the arms up. Twist to the right this time. Left arm comes to right knee. Taking a few breaths here to find what feels good. And then inhaling, come back through center. Exhale, start to walk the hands in front of the body, letting the chest or belly connect to the This is sort of like a modified pigeon pose, if that's any indication of what might be in store for us for the future. And speaking of the future, that's something that I do struggle with a lot. I'm anxious as a person, so I find that my yoga practice helps me draw my mind into the present moment by focusing on what's going on in my body at this time. When I'm in the present moment, I'm not worrying about the future or the past or things that have happened to me or things that are going to happen. Using our breath to draw the deeper mind and body connection. Walking the hands back slightly. Inhale as the head lifts. And taking your left leg back out in front of you, we'll cross over or roll over our knees and find our tabletop. So in our tabletop position, we'll have the knees as wide as the hips and the hands planted under the shoulders. Inhaling, sink the belly down, lift the hips. We'll take a few rounds of breath in our cat-cow pose. So in cat-cow, standard cat-cow, we're exhaling for our cat. Inhale, cow as the heart lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhaling, around the spine, cat. Inhaling for cow. Move with your breath. Not worrying about my pace. Just moving at your own pace, what feels good for you. So when we think about the future, Oftentimes we'll have worry, anxiety, self-doubt, wondering what's in store for us. And when we think about the past, we can have shame. All of these things not focusing on what is currently happening in the moment. So come to stillness. If your eyes are gently closed, open them and just look down at your palms and see that you are here and now. Let's come into a child's pose, drawing the tips of the toes together, the knees wide. Sink the hips back down towards the heels. And slowly start to draw the chest towards the mat. And the palms lengthen, arms straighten out in front of the body. Your forehead can connect to the mat, opening through the shoulders. So our body is always in the present moment. As we walk through life, it's our mind that can be either focused into the future or into the past. So when you hear people say that mind-body connection, it's because we want the mind to be at the same place where the body is, if that makes sense. Releasing the forehead to connect to the floor and feeling the weight of your head relaxing. Inhale as you lift up and slowly walk the hands back towards the body. Shifting forward, finding our tabletop pose. And then from here, we'll come into our downward facing dog, pressing through the hips up, pedaling out the feet. Now look up towards the palms. Make sure that your fingertips are separated nice and wide. The full weight is supported by the pads of your hands, the area in between the fingertips and the thumbs. Breathing, walking it out, feeling an opening through the hamstrings, the hips. One heel at a time reaches toward the ground. Good, and then when we are all opened up, find stillness. Inhale, look up towards the top of the mat, and then slowly start to walk your feet up to meet the hands. Coming into now our forward fold. Exhaling, bowing the head, the chin to chest. On our inhale, slide the hands up to the shins, flat back, look up. Exhale, release it down. Coming into a series of sun salutations to help practice grounding. Inhale, as we slowly curl up one vertebra at a time. Let the head be the last to lift. Inhale, arms up, standing tall, mountain pose, hands to our heart center. So what I really love about sun salutations is that it's a stretch for the entire body. It opens up the muscles, the shoulders, the hamstrings. Allow the hands to drop down beside you into a tall mountain pose. Tucking the tailbone under. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bow and forward fold. Inhaling, slide the hands to the shins or the thighs, flat back, look up. Exhale and fold. And then each movement in our sun salutation is linked with a breath. Exhaling, step back into our plank, maybe chaturanga, or lowering the knees, chest to ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful work. So, as I was saying though, our sun salutation, each movement is linked with a breath. So practicing the flow of these movements is a great way to start to build the mind and body connection. Syncing movements with your breath. Let's inhale, look towards the top of the hands, and slowly walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up. Arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Separating the toes, really grasping onto the ground and rooting yourself down into the mat. Inhale. Arms up. Exhale, bow and fold. Inhale. Lift. Exhale. Fold. Step, float or fly back, lowering the knees or chaturanga, the body down, exhaling. Inhale, chest lifts, flip through the tops of the feet to touch the mat, upward dog. And exhaling, down dog. One more time like that. So let's shift our gaze forward, walk the feet to the top of the mat. Exhale and fold. You can bring your hands to take hold of the ankles or the backs of the shins or the calves. Inhale, flat back, halfway, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, slowly let the head come up last, arms up. Back bend, heart opens, good. Exhale, hands to heart center. Grounding like a tree, release the hands. Inhale, sweep up. Good. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back into our plank, chaturanga, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Beauty. That certainly feels good. Pedaling out the feet. Okay, so let's look up towards the top of the hands. With our right leg, we'll extend back, lift three-legged dog, and then take the knee under the body, stepping forward up between the hands at the top of the mat, lowering your back knee down. And I do have a towel here because I know from my practice that I have sensitive knees and I really want to get the most out of the stretches, so I add this extra little cushion here so that I can focus on what's going on inside my hips and the backs of my legs without having to worry about causing any pain or injury, taking away from all that goodness. So from here, just stacking the ankle under the knee, I'm going to turn the tops of my feet down, but you could also have the toes tucked under, whichever feels better for you. From here, inhaling, back bend, opening the heart. Exhaling, taking the shoulders back over the hips, hands to our heart center, and we'll twist, crossing the left elbow outside of the right. Good, coming back through center. And we'll take the hands down to the mat, coming into our half splits. So we'll come up onto the heel of our right foot, opening up through the hamstrings and the back of the leg. A few breaths here. Good, rounding ourselves forward, pressing up or tucking the toes under, lifting up through the back leg, and we'll step forward to the top of the mat. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale and fold. Round into our standing. Opening the heart, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to our heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Releasing through the head, let it all go. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, and fold it down. Stepping back into our plank, chaturanga, or baby cobra, into upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Good, inhale the left leg back, up and back this time, three-legged dog. Inhaling, taking the knee under the chest and then stepping forward at the top of the mat. Lowering the back right knee down and coming into our crescent lunge on the opposite side, engaging through the core. Inhaling, arms up, overhead. Big back bend, heart opener. Exhaling, hands to heart, and twist right elbow over left knee. Just making sure that the knee doesn't go past the toe. And if you are just starting out, or if this pose doesn't feel totally right to you, you can always take your hand and plant it onto the floor on the inside of the heel. Take your hand to the hip. Take your hand up. Good. Exhaling, finding what works for you in your body. From here, we'll shift the hips back, half splits. Heel to the mat, toes flex back towards the face. Try to keep your spine long and straight, not rounding down through the shoulders. You can also use blocks for stability that will help keep you up a little bit higher. I don't have mine right now today, so I might be a little bit more wobbly than I would like. Good, rounding forward, straightening out through the back right knee this time, and then stepping forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, finding our forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins halfway, look up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, round the spine, let the head be the last to lift. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, hands to our hearts. Now I'm starting to feel the heat. Even though it is springtime here, and it's about 10 degrees or so, it's still a little bit chilly. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bow forward, fold. Inhale, halfway, look up. Exhaling, let it all go. Stepping back. Find your chaturanga, lowering to the knees, inhaling. Whichever variation works for you. Up dog, inhale. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Inhale, we'll sweep the right leg up. And then under the body, exhaling as we step towards the top of the mat, lowering our back knee to the floor once again. We'll walk our foot out for lizard pose. So our front toes come off of the mat, opening up through the hip. Breaths here. Shift the hips back and then heel toe the foot across the mat, setting up for our pigeon pose. So we'll cross the shin of the right foot in front of the body, and you can have the toes pointed or flexed with less of an angle. So the greater of an angle that you have, the more you're going to feel it. Slowly settling into your pigeon pose. So the goal here is to open up the glutes and the hips. This area where we carry a lot of tightness and tension and store a lot of emotions. So you're starting with our hands supporting the upper body. And just gaze back behind you, turning the tops of the foot down, or the top of the toes down onto the mat. And as we begin to settle in, slowly start to lower the elbows and come down onto the forearms. And then just taking this pose to wherever feels good for you, or to wherever your edge is with this pose. Because it's a very sensitive spot, everybody's body is going to be in a different place. And even yourself, you may be different from one day to the next. So that awareness and that compassion with your body is an important piece to practice as well. Try to relax through the back, through the belly, through the head and the neck, and seeing how different releases apply a different amount of pressure to the hips and glute area. This is a great pose to see where your body holds, because we're tensing up the muscles to try to protect our bodies, to try to protect ourselves from that stretch, that discomfort, that opening. So just mentally play around with releasing physically in different areas. And see what you can come up with. One more breath, because we do still have to go to the other side. So when you're ready, just pressing the palms into the ground, slowly start to lift yourself up. Inhaling, opening up through the throat and the heart. Tuck the back toes under, pressing your knee forward into the mat. And then take the leg out from underneath the body and come back into our downward facing dog. Now feel any differences maybe in the way that you can pedal out your feet. Maybe both heels can start to strive down to the floor at the same time, squaring out through your shoulders. So we're not having our shoulders way up behind our ears as well in downward dog. There's so many cues in downward dog. So don't worry if you can't get them all every single time. Always constant reminders, constant practice, always growing. Inhaling, and get ready. Take your back left leg up and behind you. Exhale, making room for the foot to come through, the hands at the top of the mat, lowering the back right knee, and then heel toeing the foot out to the side for lizard pose. Walk the hands forward, maybe readjusting your back knee ever so slightly, and opening up in lizard. Shoulders down away from the ears once again. Imagine if you can be drawing the energy between both of their thighs. So you want to be energetically drawing the thighs together to feel that opening. Exhaling, press the hips back slightly and then start to walk the foot, heel toeing it across the mat in preparation for our pigeon pose. So if we are at a 90-degree angle, the shin will be across the body like this, but I know for myself and my level of tightness and mobility, I can't get there. So I close the gap of the angle of my knee and I point my toe ever so slightly so that I can start to sink my left hip back and down towards the mat. Watching the back leg behind me to make sure that I'm not turning the toes out on an angle out to the side. And slowly settle in to your pigeon. Again, reminding us to play around with where we're holding and where we're releasing to feel releases of tension in different areas of the body. So any adjustments. If your hips are really, really tight and right up off of the mat, you can always put a block or a bolster or a pillow, anything underneath this area of the body so that you can help still release and make contact so it has an extra bit of support for you. Slowly sink in, settle in, exhaling and inhaling as we take our pigeon down to the forearms maybe. connecting belly to the thigh. Releasing the head and neck. When we're here, we may have different thoughts or visions that arise. It's important to acknowledge those feelings and thoughts, and acknowledge them for a moment, and then let them pass. Remembering to stay in this moment as you are connecting with your breath. You can't be anywhere else but the present moment. Take one more inhale. Walking over onto one side to make room for your palm to press into the mat. Pressing into the mat now with both palms firmly. Tuck the back toes under, pressing up through the leg, and then inhaling, stepping backwards into your downward dog once again. Now, along my journey and my learning and from different teachers, I've seen this quote several times, and it's, attachment is the root of all suffering. And if I'm not mistaken, it's from Gandhi or Buddha, one of them. I don't have my facts straight at this particular moment, but attachment is the root of all suffering is a very common phrase that you hear in meditation and yoga practices. Hold that thought as we inhale, look up towards the hands. Walking or stepping up towards the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, fold and back. Inhaling, arms up, overhead. Exhaling, hands to our heart center. So, in order to eliminate that suffering, we'll stay focused on the present moment. Or not eliminate it, but mitigate it or moderate it and work with it. Staying focused on the present moment. And that entails practicing mind and body connection. So let us start to sit back down on the mat, widening the feet ever so slightly, turning the toes out on an angle. We'll sink the heels down, squat, and come all the way down to a seat, one hand behind the body at a time. Setting up for our bridge pose. One vertebra at a time, lays the back down onto the mat, maybe holding on to the backs of the thighs for extra support. Allowing the arms to relax down at either side, and then walk the heels right in close to the glutes. For a grounding bridge pose, you'll know that the heels are close enough to the body if you can just graze them with your fingertips. Wrapping the shoulder blades back around the spine, inhale, and press the hips up. Engaging through your thighs, relaxing through your glutes.
Good. Holding your bridge pose. Exhale, release down. Good. We'll take bridge pose one more time and then add a variation. So inhale, press the hips up, relaxing through the glutes. And now see if you can either stay here or clasp the hands together behind the back, rocking up onto either one shoulder blade at a time. And with the hands clasped, you can see if you can take Kali Mudra. The index fingers pointed, the middle ring and pinky fingers interlaced, and the thumbs connected. Trying to keep the knees in line with the thighs. Exhale. Release back down to the ground. Rocking the feet out from side to side, so just widen your hips, and then windshield wiper the knees both down to the right, and then down to the left, coming through center. Back and forth, moving at your own pace. Attachment is the root of all suffering. So as you're going through your life, your practice, the days, and something doesn't sit well with you, which happens all the time to me, I've started to really understand that when this feeling arises, ask myself, what is my attachment here? Why does this bother me? Maybe it's in line at the grocery store and somebody in front of me is paying with all coins and it's taking a long time. The attachment I think I would have in that situation is time. My attachment to my time. And then, therefore, that attachment to my time is causing me stress. My attachment to my commitment to being somewhere at a certain hour, a certain date, and I'm going to be late. It's my attachment to my reputation. But if you let all that go, and if you just think that you're here now, in this present moment, for some reason, it'll ease that suffering, that frustration that you have. And I'm not saying that I'm good at it. I'm just saying that I try to practice that sometimes when I remember. Bring the knees back to stillness at center. Slowly start to lift one knee at a time back to the chest. We'll take our happy baby pose. Taking the hands to the outside of the shins and start to widen the knees to the outside of the bodies. And you kind of visualize that you're drawing the knees up into the armpits as well. Flex the toes back. Then see if you can straighten the feet up towards the sky. So you can take hold of the calves, the ankles, or take your two-piece fingers in between the big toe and wrap them around the big toe. Now pull down and round your shoulders back behind the body so that we don't have the shoulders curled up or lifted. We want to visualize all four spine striving towards the floor and the mat. If this is so much for you, also a great tool or a prop is a belt or a strap that you can take across the seat, which would give you a little bit more leeway with the amount that you have to reach up to take hold of the bottoms of the feet without rolling your shoulders up off of the mat. So a good place to start is to square your shoulders down and then see where you can take hold. Maybe adding a little rock here in your happy baby. And then on the exhale, engage through the core. Draw the feet together. Soles of the feet connect to the floor. Before that, taking extra stretches or moves that you need to do. Opened and ready for Shavasana today. Maybe stretching the arms up overhead one last time, or finding a plow pose to open up through the shoulders. When you're ready, with the feet and legs lengthened out all the way on the mat, allow your heels to drop off to either side, and your toes to relax, the calves and the shins relax, your glutes and your hips relax, your spine and your shoulders relax. Your belly and your ribs relax. The armpits, your biceps, the forearms relax. Turn the tops of your hands to connect to the mat so the palms are open. Feel the weight of your head and the weight of your full body supported by the ground beneath you. Relaxing through the eyes, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the jaw. Just rest here. Begin to draw your awareness back to this time and space by making subtle movements from the toes and the fingers, the ankles and the wrists. One knee at a time up into the chest, and rocking over onto one side using your top arm to press yourself up into a seated position. taking your time. Meeting in a tall seated pose at the top of the mat, in the center of your mat, where